You are trying to eat healthy, but every meal can sometimes feel like you are walking through a minefield. One wrong step and boom, a painful and a very frustrating flare-up in your joints. Today, we are not just giving you another list of bad foods. We are giving you a doctor's map to be able to safely navigate the arthritis minefield. Welcome back to Healthier Daily, the channel where we give you the simple, science-backed truths to live a stronger and more independent life after 60. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Carter, and to be our wise and expert guide through this dangerous territory, we are joined by a physician who has spent his life teaching the wisdom of finding a safe path through a very unhealthy world. It is our great honor to welcome Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara.
Thank you for having me, Ben. The modern food world can be a very dangerous place for a body that is living with inflammation. A wise person does not walk blindly through it. They learn to recognize the danger zones and they learn to find the safe path. This is the true art of navigation. This is so very important. I had a patient, a wonderful woman who loved social gatherings. She loved the weekend barbecues and the parties, but she told me that she would always end up in a great deal of pain afterward. She felt like she was constantly stepping on these food mines, but she did not know where they were hidden.
And that is exactly what our guide is all about today. Dr. Hinohara is going to give us the map to be able to safely navigate these common situations. In our journey today, we will map out 4 of the most common danger zones that you will face. We will investigate the weekend barbecue. We will then look at the fast food trap. After that, we will navigate the comfort food craving. And finally, we will expose the sweet treat deception. It is a true blessing to have this kind of knowledge, to have a map that can guide us safely through a world that is full of so many confusing and often harmful choices. If you are ready to get your personal map to be able to navigate this minefield and to find your way to less pain, please type the number 1 in the comments below. As you are watching this on a Thursday evening and planning your weekend, this could be the most important guide you have ever seen. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free and we are here to help you find that safe path. Okay, doctor, let's begin mapping out this dangerous arthritis minefield. As our viewers are now heading into the weekend, what is the first and the most common danger zone that they are likely to face?
Yes, our first danger zone is a very popular one in America, especially on the weekends. It is the weekend barbecue. And the 2 biggest mines that are often hidden in this danger zone are the beef ribs and the sausages. And for my patient, the woman who loved her social gatherings, this was her biggest and most difficult challenge. She loved to go to her family's barbecue on a Saturday afternoon, but she would always eat the ribs and the sausages, and she would be in so much pain on Sunday morning.
And this is such a common and a very frustrating story. Let's look at the science of why these 2 foods are such powerful mines for our joints. First is the source text, so wisely notes both the ribs and the sausages are extremely high in saturated fats. And as we have discussed in our other videos, a high intake of these fats signals to your body to produce more of those inflammatory messengers, the cytokines, which go directly to your joints and increase the pain and the swelling. But second, and this is the absolute key for a barbecue, when you cook these meats at a very high temperature, like on a grill, they form those very toxic and very inflammatory compounds that we call advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These are a powerful and a very direct fuel for the fire of arthritis.
So, it is a double danger of the saturated fats and the AGEs from the high heat cooking. So, doctor, what is the safe path through this very common danger zone? How could your patient still enjoy her beautiful family barbecue?
The safe path is a very simple and a very delicious one. Instead of the fatty ribs and all of the processed sausages, She learned to choose the beautiful grilled chicken breast or a wonderful piece of a wild-caught fish. Or even better, sometimes she would make her own delicious vegetable skewers with mushrooms and peppers and onions to put on the grill. She was still a beautiful part of the party, but she was now walking on a safe and a healing path. Now, Doctor, what is the second danger zone on our map?
Our second danger zone is the one that is all about convenience. It is the fast food trap. And the two biggest mines that are in this zone are the breaded fried chicken and the frozen French fries.
And this is a trap that is so very easy for all of us to fall into when we are busy. Let's look at the science of this triple threat. First, as the source text so correctly notes, the industrial seed oils that are used for deep frying in these fast food restaurants are often used over and over and over again. This creates very dangerous oxidized oils, which are a very powerful trigger for inflammation in the body. Second, the breading on the chicken is made from refined white flour. And as we learned in our Arthritis arsonist video, this acts just like pure sugar in your body, which causes a big and a very dangerous inflammatory spike in your blood sugar. And third, both of these foods are absolutely loaded with sodium, which can cause your body to retain fluid and can increase the painful pressure that is in your swollen joints.
So, it is a true triple threat of the bad oils, the bad carbs, and too much salt. What is the safe path through this dangerous trap, Doctor?
The safe path is to create your own beautiful fast food at home. Instead of the fried chicken, you can have a simple and a delicious baked chicken breast. And instead of the French fries, you can make your own beautiful and crispy oven-roasted sweet potato wedges. It is just as delicious and just as satisfying, but it is a path of healing and not of harm. It is a truly blessed and a wonderful thing to know that even in these challenging situations, there is always a wise, a gentle, and a very healing path that we can choose to walk on. So we have now successfully learned to navigate the first two danger zones on our arthritis minefield map, the weekend barbecue and the fast food trap. These are huge and very important victories for our health. But doctor, I know from our conversations that there is another danger zone one that is perhaps the most difficult of all to navigate because it is a very emotional one. What is danger zone number 3? The comfort food craving.
Yes, this is a very powerful and a very personal minefield. The foods that we turn to for comfort are often the most dangerous for our joints. And the biggest mines that are hidden in this particular danger zone are the sausage and double cheese pizza and the processed cheddar cheese that is so often used on it. And for my patient, the woman who loved her social gatherings, her go-to-comfort meal at the end of a long and a very hard week, especially on a Friday night, like tonight, was a simple frozen pizza. It was easy for her, it was comforting. But in reality, it was a major source of the fire of inflammation that was burning in her joints.
And the modern processed pizza is a true perfect storm of inflammation. Let's look at the science of why it is such a dangerous mine for a person with arthritis. First, as we have already discussed in our barbecue danger zone, you have the processed meats like the sausage, which are full of the inflammatory nitrites and all of the other chemical preservatives. Second, you have the excess cheese, and especially as the source text notes, the processed cheddar cheese. This is not a real naturally aged cheese. It is often what we call a cheese food that is full of industrial fats of chemical preservatives and a huge and a very damaging amount of saturated fat. And as we now know, this is a very powerful trigger for the inflammatory cytokines in our body. And third, the entire meal is built upon a foundation of a crust that is made from refined white flour. And as we have learned in our Arthritis arsonist video, this refined flour acts just like pure sugar in your body. It causes a big and a very dangerous inflammatory blood sugar spike.
And as the source text for our video so wisely points out, there is also the problem of the timing. We often eat this very heavy and very inflammatory meal at night, right before we go to sleep. And during the night when our body is supposed to be doing its deep and its very important healing repair work, it is instead forced to deal with this terrible storm of inflammation that is coming from our dinner.
So it is a true three-part disaster for our joints. The meat, the cheese, and the crust are all working against us. So, doctor, what is the safe path through this very powerful comfort food craving?
The safe and beautiful path is a very joyful one. You can make your own beautiful and delicious healing pizza right at home. You can start with a 100% whole wheat crust. You can top it with a simple and a beautiful tomato sauce, a large and a very generous amount of beautiful healing vegetables like mushrooms and peppers and onions, and a small and mindful amount of a real naturally aged cheese. With this simple change, you can still have your beautiful pizza, but you can have it in a way that brings healing and nourishment to your body and not harm. It is a truly blessed and a wonderful thing to know that we can transform even our favorite comfort foods into beautiful and healing meals for our bodies. And we love sharing this kind of holistic wisdom with our global community. To help us see our global community, please let us know what city, state, or country you are watching from. We love hearing from all of you.
So we have now learned to successfully navigate the first three danger zones on our arthritis minefield map: the weekend barbecue, the fast food trap, and the very powerful comfort food craving. Our map is now almost complete. But doctor, I know from our research that there is one final and very tempting danger zone, one that is full of sweet and very powerful deceptions. What is danger zone number 4? The sweet treat deception?
Yes, our final danger zone is the most deceptive of all because it promises us so much pleasure and so much comfort. The biggest and most dangerous mines that are hidden in this danger zone are the packaged donuts, the filled cakes with frosting, and the common sugary milk chocolate bars.
And these are a true minefield of inflammation for our joints. Let's look at the science of why this combination of ingredients is so uniquely damaging for a person with arthritis. These beautiful-looking foods are what we call a triple threat. First, as we have already discussed, they are absolutely loaded with an enormous amount of refined sugar, which we now know is a very powerful trigger for the inflammatory cytokines in our body. Second, many of these commercially made treats are still made with the dangerous trans fats or the partially hydrogenated oils to be able to give them a long and a very stable shelf life. And as we learned from our investigation into the bad fat brigade, these fats are a phantom menace to our health. And third, they are, of course, made with refined white flour, which is our empty accomplice that acts just like pure sugar in the body, causing that same big inflammatory spike in our blood sugar. So with these foods, you are getting a triple dose of gasoline on the fire with every single bite.
So it is a true triple threat disaster for our joints. So, doctor, what is the safe path? How can we still enjoy a little bit of a beautiful sweetness in our lives without all of this damage?
The safe and beautiful path is a very simple and a very wise one. When you are craving something sweet, you must learn to turn to the beautiful in the very natural sweetness of nature. The safe path is to have a beautiful bowl of fresh berries. And if you would like a little bit of chocolate, as the source text notes, you can have just 1 or 2 small squares of a very high-quality dark chocolate, one that is at least 85% cacao. And this is the perfect and the most healing solution. The berries are very low in sugar, but they are absolutely packed with those powerful and anti-inflammatory anthocyanins. And the high cacao dark chocolate is also very low in sugar, and it is very rich in its own beautiful and anti-inflammatory flavonols. So with this simple swap, you are satisfying your sweet tooth, but you are actually pouring water on the fire, not gasoline.
That is a wonderful and a very delicious safe path. So, Investigator Hinohara, you have now given us the complete and beautiful map to the arthritis minefield. Let's close the case file on your patient, the woman who loved her social gatherings but was always in so much pain.
This is the beautiful and the very successful conclusion to our investigation. The patient who felt that she was constantly getting blown up in these dangerous food minefields learned how to read the beautiful map that we have shared with all of you today. She learned how to spot all of the hidden mines in each of the 4 danger zones. And more importantly, she learned how to choose the beautiful, the safe, and the delicious path. She could still go to her family's barbecue. She could still enjoy a beautiful homemade pizza on a Friday night. And she could still have a delicious and a very satisfying sweet treat. But now she was doing it all with a new and a very powerful wisdom. She was no longer a victim of the minefield. She had become its master navigator. And because of this, the chronic fire of pain that was in her joints finally began to calm down.
That is a truly beautiful and a blessed story. It is a powerful reminder that we are not powerless. With a little bit of blessed wisdom and with a good map, we can all learn to navigate even the most challenging of territories in our lives.
Doctor, this has been an incredible and a very eye-opening investigation. You have given our viewers a complete and a very practical map to be able to navigate the arthritis minefield. It is a powerful new way for our viewers to be able to fight back against their chronic joint pain. By learning to identify the 4 main danger zones, the barbecue, the fast food trap, the comfort food craving, and the sweet treat deception, we can now begin to find the safe path to healing. This is a profound and a very hopeful approach to senior health. By becoming a master navigator of their own food choices, our viewers can now stop unknowingly stepping on the mines that are causing their pain and their inflammation. This knowledge is a true cornerstone of a proactive senior health strategy. It is a practical food first way to fight back against the daily misery of joint pain and to live a more comfortable and a more mobile life. This is how we can find lasting relief from our joint pain. Now, Doctor, your Arthritis Minefield Guide is a life-changing way of thinking about our food. For our viewers at home who are watching this as they head into the weekend and are inspired to start their own journey of navigation, what is the most important and the wisest first step that they can take?
That is a wonderful and a very important question. The journey to becoming a master navigator must always begin with one single, gentle step. I will give you a simple 3-part action plan for your first week. First, tonight or tomorrow morning, your only job is to be a curious and a very gentle navigator. This is your kitchen audit. I want you to go to your pantry and to your refrigerator. You will not throw anything away yet. You will simply look for the mines. You will read the labels of 3 of your favorite packaged foods. Where are the hidden sugars? Where are the industrial oils? You are simply and gently mapping out your own personal minefield. Second, for this first week, you will choose just one danger zone to focus on. You must not try to clear the entire minefield all at once. That is the path to failure. You will choose only one of the 4 danger zones that we have discussed today. Choose the one that is the biggest and the most common problem for you. Is it the sweet treats? Is it the fast food? And third, And this is the most important step of all. For this week, your only job is to make one simple swap. You will simply practice the safe path in that one danger zone. If you have chosen the sweet treat deception as your focus, you will simply swap your nightly cookie for a beautiful and delicious bowl of fresh berries. It is one small and very safe step. And this is how you learn to become the master navigator of your own health.
That is a perfect and a very achievable action plan. But doctor, I know that many of our viewers at home worry about being perfect all of the time. What is your wisdom on balance and on grace?
You must not strive for perfection. You must strive for progress. I teach all of my patients the beautiful 80-20 rule. For 80% of the time, you will do your very best to walk the safe and the healing path. You will be a wise and a very careful navigator of your health. But for the other 20% of the time, you will give yourself grace. You will go to your beautiful grandchild's birthday party, and you will have a small and a very joyful piece of the cake. Life is meant to be enjoyed. The goal is not to live in a state of constant fear and of restriction. The goal is to live in a state of wisdom and of beautiful balance.
So the true power is in the consistent daily choices.
That is correct. I want to leave you with this one final thought. The world will not change for you. The minefield will always be there. But you can change. You can learn to become a wise and a very graceful navigator. The true power is not in changing the world around you, but in changing your beautiful and chosen path through it.
That is a beautiful message, doctor. It's a wonderful reminder to be good stewards of our health by learning to navigate this challenging world with a blessed sense of wisdom and of discernment. And of course, it is absolutely essential that you speak with your personal doctor or a registered dietitian before making any significant changes to your diet, especially if you have existing health conditions. Please remember that our conversation today is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for the direct medical advice from your own trusted physician. If you found this guide empowering and it gave you a new and a hopeful map for your health, please give this video a like so that others can find this vital information. And be sure to share it with a friend or a family member. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It is completely free and it ensures you will not miss our next practical health guide. And for our community discussion today, we would love to know which danger zone, the weekend barbecue, the fast food trap, the comfort food craving, or the sweet treat deception is the most challenging for you to navigate in your own life. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for being with us. Be well.